Hello everyone, Parasite7 here, back in with another video, and well, 1.06 is out. If I had to rate this update, it'd probably be a 5 out of 10. It did fix a lot of things that were like really pressing issue, but it also took like 3 steps backwards if I had to be honest, but that's a topic for another time. So anyways, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, yes, I actually made it to BFB Colosseum, which is actually pretty, I guess, impressive for myself, as I really didn't think I'd ever really reach there. But after Dartling meta, I guess the laser shock bug being fixed, Dartling is now susceptible to like most rushes now. HRP isn't as strong as it is before, so it dies to like regen rainbows, which lots of people don't really prepare for, as again, regen rainbows is something I guess most people don't rush with, mainly just because Dartling meta was so oppressive that you could easily shut down a whole infinite regen rainbows with only like a 230 Dartling gunner, which of course it can't now because the laser shock bug was fixed. So which is actually pretty nice. I can actually do something to Dartling mains like before round 18, which is actually pretty nice. That the Dartling mains actually have to play the game now, so they can't just like sit back for like 18 rounds and then decide to maybe get like super just for fortified Moabs. Now this was actually recorded on the first day that 1.06 was released. It was released I think like a few hours after this. So yeah, I can imagine that maybe lots of players were kind of surprised, especially Dartling mains, when they saw that 230 HRP isn't as strong as it was before. So maybe they didn't realize that laser shock bug was fixed, or they just, I guess, I don't know. I don't really know, it's kind of like amazing seeing that, most Dartling mains I go against now, don't actually prepare for like any other, I guess, just rushes now. Sure, like, they kind of prepare for like camel purples, because I'm pretty sure HRP shuts that down easily, but it can't handle regen rainbows, which is, kind of the main threat I would say at this point. Seeing I have tack shooter and icicles, round 13 is not a problem for me, but it is something I do have to prepare for. So anyways, my strategy has pretty much been the same. As you can see here, I'm using Gwendolyn. I think I covered this in another video that I scheduled to release. I'm using Gwendolyn here as I figured Gwen would be better because I do struggle a bit against leads. I don't really want to get hot shots, hot shots can tend to miss some leads, so I figured Gwendolyn might be better just to give my attacks just lead popping power. And also late game, I'm pretty sure that Gwen also gives +1 damage to all balloons with the heated up effect, which is pretty nice. Attack Zone could obviously use that and combine that with Super Brittle. I think Gwen would probably be a lot better than Ocean Open, especially since Ocean Open bug was patched to where Ocean Open could swallow bads if it was at like the perfect health. So that's why I'm using Gwen now, even though Gwen's abilities, level 3 is really the only good one. Level 10 isn't really anything, I guess, just too special or amazing. Really the only reason why you want to use it is just to give it heated up to every tower on screen. But I guess like that's kind of situational. That's only something I'd use against like DDT. So as you can see, my opponent IO has already gotten his laser shock up. And as you can see, Dartling isn't as strong as it was before, with laser shock, with Dartling could easily shut down, just like space blacks at all. And now with like the laser shock fix, Dartling actually does sort of struggle, and like even now Dartling's like getting slightly overwhelmed by just grouped yellows. Like even 2 of them with laser shock isn't enough to like hold off. And it's pretty nice seeing this, because I can actually like do something against Dartling players, which I guess was just kind of my main complaint before, is that I can't really do anything against Dartling mains before round 18. Another stroke of good news here is that I've gotten 555 ice. It's my first 555 tower, and that's actually pretty nice if I'm being honest. Now I had to grind to unlock masteries. Now masteries have also been changed in this update to where they now cost 10 times the XP as they've done before. So the most basic ice upgrade I think costs like 75,000 XP, which is a bit too much in my opinion. Especially since NK didn't increase XP anyway. If anything, they made XP gain worse, as you can't, abuse that one bug where you could stack chests infinitely if you like never discarded it and just like exited back to the menu. You can't do that anymore. So again, there's that. That's a bit annoying. I wouldn't really mind if XP, was increased, or not, the mastery XP was increased, if they like increased XP to compensate. But like some masteries, like the basic ice one costing like 75,000 XP, being that's like the cost of like 2.5 Inferno rings, which is really insane, as you're gonna have to grind like for who knows, like 6 months in order to unlock all the masteries. And that's only for one tower. Anyways, moving on, what I like to do is I like to get my village down, even though I don't plan on actually using it. I like to make my opponent think that I'm saving up for, a monkey town or some other upgrade, even though I'm actually saving for regen rainbows. I do get a fair bit of money. I like to save up, like 1,000 eco before round at 13, just so I can I guess just prepare in advance. He sets down super, so he really does not expect this regen rainbow rush that's coming next round, which is actually pretty hilarious. I don't know why, but there's something so satisfying just like seeing regen rainbows just like run through Darling's defense. So I can actually like do something against them now, which is pretty nice. So this match, yet again, was yet another Darling user. I know I am showing a lot of Darling matches, but it's just nice that again I'm actually able to rush Darling players early on. This guy actually had a Darling Mastery, which I guess looks like Nerf darts, which is actually pretty cool if I had to say. I haven't actually played with or seen Nerf guns in like forever. He also has a little cool Ray of Doom, I guess just Bloon decal. I will say that Darling, in my opinion, has probably some of the best mastery cosmetics, along with, I believe it's Mortar, which has the radioactive ZOMG skin, and Darling has the Ray Doom BFB skin. So it is nice, Darling does have some actually like pretty sick mastery cosmetics. Unfortunately, I won't be getting those anytime soon. So my strategy here is pretty much the same as last match. Start off with Blade Shooter into Gwendolyn into another Blade Shooter for round 5 whites, and I think it's round 6 black balloons as well, into Opa Camo Village, into Icicles. Rush round 13, if that doesn't work, eco even more to maybe rush with Moabs, unless my opponent has like Super Monkey, then I just forget about Moabs, because Dark Knight's insane against Moabs, as well as Boomer. Boomer's also pretty good against Moabs, but which is fine, as I feel like some towers like Boomer probably wouldn't really be as good without just Moab press in general. I guess Glaive Ricochet would also be pretty good late game, I guess early game, but I'm not really sure about good like Glaive Lord or something would be late game, as again Glaive Lord's kind of, I guess, more of a cleanup tower. It is like a main damaging tower. Even with the Shred DOT, it wasn't really a tower I would use for, I guess, just as my main sort of DPS. So I guess just a small channel update I wanted to give is I did have a video plan about doing DFA, as I did do a video of DFA before 1.06, and of course I do want to do a video after 1.06. That video won't come out for a little while, as I do want to see if I can try to climb all the way up to Hall of Masters with Ice Tack Village, as I think that Ice Tack Village is probably the best strat that I actually have XP for. DFA is, I guess, just semi-decent, but again, it's not really as strong as it is in Battles 1. So yeah, there's that. Also, I have more tier 5s for this strategy that I'm using right now. I am very close to Inferno Ring. I am skipping out on Super Mail to Forward to actually get Inferno Ring, as I can't really see a situation which I'd actually want to use as Mail, maybe for, I guess, Moabs or like getting past my defense, but I mean at that point it's probably like in like mid 30s, so again S-Mail probably won't be able to beat them. Although if anyone wants to play against me, I'll go DFA against them. Join Discord down below if that's something you are interested in. Anyways, I'm sending grouped yellows at my opponent, as I don't really need counter detection for a little long while, so I figured it was probably better just to build up my eco again before then. And right now the best option I have is grouped yellows. Also, grouped yellows are pretty effective, I guess, just at rushing my opponent, even though I'm not really trying to rush, because at this point in the game most players don't have a grouped yellow defense unless they're like running Boomer or something. So it is like pretty, I guess, just nice to do. It's kind of does double duty. It pressures my opponent as well as just builds some eco for me. So I get radar scanner pretty early because I do like to go radar scanner into icicles. I like to get icicles, but you know, before around 12, it is a bit of a it's just a lot of money I'm spending, and you could say I'm over defending, but I do like to sell one of my blade shooters for icicles, as icicles can like really shut down, you know, just most balloon rushes, and so it really just holds off till just mobs come. Now I do suck again against grouped whites, and so I actually do end up using Gwen's cocktail here, even though, you know, he didn't actually mean to send those. You know, he was just kind of auto equaling, and then just the round came. But I do use Gwen cocktail just in case, as I do suck a bit against those. Now here, you know, it's around 12, and I haven't really built up much money simply because I was going for icicles. So I sent some group greens here to get myself up to 800 eco, just hoping that, you know, that would maybe be enough money to actually just rush him with. Now, because he has Bloon Trap, I start sending some yellows to hopefully just overwhelm his Bloon Trap and have him put it down, and send some regen rainbows his way. Now, because he doesn't have much, I guess, just good regen rainbow defense, he just, I don't even send a big rush, he just gets overwhelmed. He sends zebras and leads in return, but again, icicles OP and shuts everything down. Now, I thought he survived with 1 life, which is why I put the WoW emote, but I guess it was just lag or desync or something, because he actually just died. Now here it is, the legendary BFB Colosseum. Maybe if I get lucky enough, I'll play against, you know, ISAB or someone. Although I'm guessing by now ISAB's probably in like ZOMG Superdome or Hall of Masters, so I guess I'll have to grind to there. I would like to again play against some YouTubers as well, you know, kind of boost viewership towards my channel, obviously. But just then again, you know, I like to play against some some really, I guess, just skilled players or players who are better than me. Because, you know, in my way of, I guess, just getting better, or I think the best way to get better is, you know, play against players who are just like as good as you or better than you, as you can learn from them, or just, I guess, it's just like kind of just be better. It's kind of hard to describe. So this guy is going druid. Before Battles 2 released, I kind of theory crafted a bit for some strategies like to try out. Oban druid, Oban druid, village. And I can't remember my other tower that I chose. I think it was like sub was the strat I was actually going to try out. Of course, I actually never really got around to that. XP was just so terrible that I didn't really want to use druid, as I figured that, you know, druid probably wouldn't be, I guess, just like too overly like meta or powerful, seeing as you do have to leak lives in the early game if you want druids to be as strong as possible. And this puts a lot of pressure on like me, as again, you do need to like place down your druids as fast as possible, so as many of them get the max attack speed, as well as, you know, of course, a good spot for Avatar Wrath, as if you do go late game, you do want to have your Avatar Wrath in like a semi decent spot. And combine this with the fact that, you know, lightning was bugged for the longest time, and so I just never really got around to using druid. Maybe when Universal XP comes out, I'll actually like try out druid, but for now I just won't really bother. So again, the strategy I think was Oban Druid sub village, although I do want to modify that a bit, and it'd probably be now would probably just be like Druid Ice Village, or like maybe some other just like tower. Although thinking about the strategy now, I'm not even sure why I have sub in there, as again, you know, you don't really need sub if you already have village in your loadout, because village is, you know, better, I guess, just camo detection than sub is. But I guess it was probably for like first strike spamming late game. Again, as you know, Avatar Wrath is a lot weaker in this game than it is in BTD6. I think in BTD6 at full power it was like 38 damage. It was like in the mid 30s somewhere, and here I think it's like 24 when max power, which again is like a huge decrease. So again, it's not as strong against bads as it was in BTD6. And as well as remember, you know, Avatar Wrath in BTD6 isn't very good against DTs, and I can imagine that's probably the same in Battles too. So overall, I think Druid is a very balanced tower, and probably like the most balanced tower we have at this point. Again, you know, it's not like overly broken and doesn't like overly excel at anything. You know, of course, you know, Druid farming again is there, but it's not the best farming option, or I guess just like alternative eco strategies. You also have to keep in mind, you know, Avatar Wrath isn't like incredibly broken, just like shuts down bad rushes easily. Another thing would probably be, I guess just Superstorm again is incredibly expensive, but it is definitely worth getting. So yeah, it is. There's that. Avatar. Actually, I already spoke about Avatar Wrath. Overall, Druid is just like a very balanced and just a good tower in general. It's just unfortunate that, you know, with XP, you know, being as slow as it is, I just never really got around to using it. So anyways, I'm actually going for my icicles before Camo Village. I know it's a bit of a bold move, but between the time I was grinding from Moab Pit to BFB Colosseum, I figured that, you know, if I like saved just a bit and like I guess just stopped decoying, I can actually afford icicles and a Camo Village before round 12, which is ideal for me as, again, icicles can shut down most rushes. I end up getting just a 004 ice as I don't really need the top path immediately. So I usually just end up skipping out on that. And you know, it is nice that, you know, we actually have Cold Snap in this game. Again, it is like a kind of a huge buff to Ice Monkey. You know, being able to hit Kimmel Lead from just like tier 2 is just like huge and massive. So I guess there's just that. I'm not really sure if it is a good idea to skip out on Kimmel Village entirely and just get Cold Snap, as again, I'm not really sure if icicles can pop zebras or whites in this game. I'm assuming it can't. Anyways, we're getting towards the end of the video, so if you enjoyed the video, you know, like, comment, subscribe, join our Discord, link is down in the description. NK did say they wanted to add, I guess, just like XP for private matches, so that'd be nice to play against viewers and get XP at the same time. Also, Regen Rainbow's OP.